wish I can just grab them. All right, I don't want to be between you and the show. Let's get in Bobby. All right, here is the session. Bobby Mukherjee, Rima, Vandana, Arun, James. Hi, Bobby.
Hi.
Good to see you, Bobby. Bobby is, of course, one of the most cheerful, one of the most happening, handsome rock star of an architect. Right? He's designed some of the best hotels. He's even done a city. Bobby Lavasa?
Ambi Valley.
Ambi Valley. There you are. So a man who built the entire damn city, right? You name the best hotels, you've got a signature on them. So who better? I mean, Bobby is somebody I look up to. Young, happening, a thinking designer, a thinking architect, a man of his own place. Bobby, a few words and then we bring in the session.
You don't want to introduce the others?
No, I will. I mean, why not? Okay, let's get the session in.
Yeah.
So we have the full complement. Let's start with the ladies. Hi, Rima.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. Hi, Vandana. Hi, Arun, Srijit, Suraj, James. Welcome to the show. So this is a wonderful panel. I've introduced Bobby. Any words would be too less for Bobby Mukherjee. Bobby Mukherjee has a place for himself. Everybody knows him in the industry. He was just telling me about, we were both speaking to each other in the other room between the two sessions. So I
happen to be in Delhi, so you know, and I don't have proper Wi-Fi at my place, so I came to his house, and I'm in the neighboring room using his Wi-Fi to make this happen.
So we were talking about Bobby's designs, and he says, "Listen, Hansgrohe is one brand I love to work with." He says the first project that I did in Delhi was the Meridian in Delhi, which he did along with Hansgrohe. Right, Bobby?
Yeah. I think that was Hansgrohe's first project, entire hotel project in India, I think, in the year 2002 or 3. That's when it started. Hansgrohe was pretty new at that time, and they were not fully in India officially. They were being distributed through Jaguar. And but I've always known of this brand because of my experience in Europe and the US, and that's the time when we use your Stark range and for throughout the hotel, and I think it's still, all of them still work, you know, even after so many years. It's been like nearly 15 years. I do swear by this brand, but not. Sometimes I see them losing projects. Sometimes I see them losing projects because they are unable to match up to some of the competitors. But I do try and educate my clients on their quality and design. But and many times I do get successful.
Oh, great.
Thank you, Bobby. Much appreciated.
All right. So let me come to Rima. Rima is the Associate Vice President for IHCL, Taj. She's a seasoned hospitality, technical services and design expert with a track record of delivering many award-winning hotels. At her age, rich experience, she's done a lot. She's a writer, she's a designer, and an experienced creator who likes to follow emerging trends which are the basis of her design inspiration. She's redefined hospitality through the series of bespoke and innovative designs. Over 2 decades of progressive experience, she has channelized brands like Ginger, Vivanta, Selections, Cumin now, St. Regis, W, Aloft, 4 Points by Sheraton, Westin, and Sheraton in the South Asia region. That's quite a bit, Rima. I have to still go on. Currently driving design and experience for various brands under the IHCL umbrella. She's instrumental in creating brand identity and launching design-led hotels for the Taj Group. Welcome to the show, Rima. Let me come to the other lady of the show, Vandana. Vandana Dhawan Saxena. She's the principal and architect designer for Studio 4 Designs. Vandana heads a dynamic architecture and hotel interior design practice based out of Gurgaon, established in 2012. She has been in professional practice since 2004 and has worked extensively both in the US and in India. She was based in New York. She believes in weaving together the local context, a larger functional need, and a modern aesthetic to help create a unique and timeless narrative for a project. Let me come to our other friends on the show, Srijit Narayanan, the genial Keralite Malayali based in Gurgaon. Can you beat it? Right? He's the director of projects for design services for Hyatt in South Asia. A hardcore project personnel with an overall experience of more than 3 decades. You don't look that. A civil engineer with a passion for interior design and hospitality, 11 plus years of experience in hospitality industry. He started with Taj. So there's a lot of Taj in there. Earlier, he was director of projects and technical services at key hotels. All right. We now come to Suraj Sahai. Suraj is the regional manager, architectural design and construction Eurasia for Wyndham Hotels and Resorts. He's an architect by qualification, having extensive design and technical services advisory experience with major international hotel brands. As the regional manager, he is currently leading architectural design and construction for Eurasia at Wyndham. Like I said, he's an expert in the business of hospitality by continuously devising innovative ways to drive hotel profitability through design and engineering. Welcome, Suraj. Arun Raju, Vice President, Head and Projects and Head of Projects, Interglobe Hotels. For those of you who know Interglobe Hotels, they don't just fly an airline, they have their own hotels under the IBIS brand, right? Arun joined Interglobe Hotels in 2015, where he has successfully commissioned 7 hotels and 6 projects are underway across India and are expected to be operational in 2022. You also did something in Melbourne recently.
That's right, Gomesh. That's right. We just commissioned a hotel in Melbourne.
Yeah.
It's a Quincy brand, 250 roomer, and did it in 2 years, right through the COVID time.
Brilliant. And he's a key member of the leadership team at Interglobe. Having started his career with ITC Hotels, where he spent 10 years with the project and facility management team, Arun has almost 4 decades of rich experience. Are you serious?
I'm not that old, Gomesh. Since when did 4 decades come in? I thought 3.5 maybe.
Well, we're rounding it off. Facility management and construction of hotels, healthcare, IT, ES facilities, office complexes, and high-end residential projects. Last but not the least, James. Where are you, James? Okay, here. James logs in from London. He was with me on the last show, so I shall do this again. He's the Director Sales Global Projects for Hansgrohe. James has a wealth of experience with over 20 years in bathroom industry. He's worked closely with international design and architectural practices in the hospitality and residential sectors. He's some kind of a walking, talking encyclopedia when it comes to the bathroom space. He's got it all in his mind, and he's done a whole lot of projects. I will not stand between Bobby and the show. Over to you, Bobby.
Hi, hi Rima. First question to you. Rima, your microphone's off.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you are.
Thank you.
Taj is considered as one of the finest chains of luxury hotels and resorts. And, I've had the privilege of working with your company and with you for, several nice, fascinating projects. Question is, from a modern business hotel to idyllic beach resorts to authentic palaces, you seem to have them all. With the most demanding new age guests, how do you manage your dominance in design for each and every category, satisfying every need and style of all the guests?
That's actually a very good question, Bobby. A while ago, the dominance of design was focused more on the demography of the guest. We were designing hotels for Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, and millennial travelers. But now, actually, the way the things are shifting, now we design hotels evolving with the psychography of the guest, paying attention to the mindset, paying attention to the passion points. So rather than actually creating segment positioning, we are creating diversity within the design. So which means think differently and act differently. Come to think of it, inside of all the hotels which we have done together, it's the same. It's the same lobby, the banquet space, the bathrooms, and the pre-function areas. So what makes us different is how we dimensionalize these spaces and bring them alive and create diversity. And this is in fact what we have done in many hotels together. And how do we do that? The lobby and other spaces, it's the same, but how do we dimensionalize and create diversity is the key. And the lobby is basically can cater to the guests who are caring for a space to socialize, to hold meetings, to eat, to meet, to play, all at the same time. So it's more about segment positioning and diversity of design and spaces. Same way for the bathrooms, the public bathrooms. So they are more like an extension of now the lobby and the living spaces. And they are evolved to be what I say that, couture, stroke to the eyes, just like an M.F. Hussain painting, sitting. So it's basically something on those lines. And when we go to the guest rooms, and especially the guest rooms, the bathrooms, and also it's more basically designed to create more like a wellness zone with the element of spa within, creating pampering and retreat for the guest. So, it's more about the psychography of the guest and how we are catching to the various genre of the guest. And I feel that design has become a more irresistible, retreat for all the guests of all the genre.
I remember us having a chat on one of our trips, regarding this topic. And we were talking about the fact that, toilets, bathrooms, common toilets, it says a lot about, the owner, the ownership, the brand. And, I think, somewhere down the line, bathrooms and toilets are becoming more, as she mentioned, like an extension of your living space, of a living room. So
yeah,
we coined a word called the loo lounge, and
the lounge, yes.
yeah, if that started in the Starwood days when Rima was with Starwood, and we looked at toilets way beyond just being functional toilets, and we did land up with some pretty interesting experiences.
Yeah.
Can you okay, a question to Srijit. Hi Srijit, your microphone's off. I've also had the privilege of working with Srijit closely on a couple of projects recently, and it's been a real fun experience. Now, I can't hear you, Srijit. Yeah.
Srijit,
Yeah, there you are.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, Srijit, as claimed by Hyatt, care is at the heart of our business. And it's this distinct guest experience that makes Hyatt one of the world's best hospitality brands. What role as a project director you play, especially in the bathroom space, in a room to extend guest experience with the care at its best?
Thank you, Bobby. Let me start thanking BW Hoteliers and Hansgrohe to make me a
Thank you.
panelist here. And
Pleasure is ours.
and thank you, Bhuvnesh. And yes, you said it rightly. At Hyatt, care is the purpose of our business. The well-being of our guests and colleagues is the central to our ethos of advancing care at Hyatt. And the key aspects to advancing care is to have an intuitive and empathetic design. So across Hyatt hotels, be it luxury, upper upscale or upscale segment, we believe that the bathroom is a primary opportunity to positively impact the guest experience, going beyond the guest expectations and challenging the conventions. These are, of course, the same four fixtures bathroom. We can't do anything more on that. But what we try to do is to bring in a relationship between the bathroom and the bedroom, such a way that they're physically or visually connected. It could be through an open portal, it could be a sliding partition, a translucent partition, soft screening, etc. And this connection, what happens is when it opens up, it makes the room feel more expansive and also allows to have a unique space for unique feature and adds to the flexibility and functionality of that space. And we also try to bring in natural light. These days, nobody wants to have a dingy dark with toilet, like Bobby, we've been discussing the other day. So the same thing. So we would try to bring in natural light. It could be through a translucency, or try to visually connect the room somewhere, the bathroom with other areas of the room, and keeping in mind the privacy of the guest, which is the core. So I think this is how we take care of the care towards the guest or the guest experience, keeping in mind a bathroom accessories.
Srijit, Hyatt has been a trendsetter in this worldwide. Your concept of the bathroom that you just mentioned, having large openings, glass in between, less of a division between the guest room and the bathroom. You were the trendsetters, and I think rest of the world, rest of the brands followed what you started, I think 25 years ago. And, you see people still trying to do that.
Yeah, true.
Okay, I'll ask Suraj this question. What are Wyndham Hotel and Resorts development and expansion plans in the new normal? Suraj, your microphone's off. Yes, there you are.
Okay. So first of all, I'll thank BW Hotelier and Hansgrohe from bringing this panel, which is on this panel. I believe this is 200 plus year of experience on this panel. That's something. Anyways, so coming to your question, it's new normal. We have been hearing this a lot. So these are strange times. So throughout these challenging times, our focus at Wyndham has been on the health, safety, and well-being of our guests, team members, and partners. And we remain committed to this. As we continue to navigate, we are still trying to explore this new normal thing. So earning and sustaining trust among our owners, guests, and colleagues is and has always been our priority. And regarding development, we have also remained steadfast in our commitment to continued global growth and expanding Wyndham across Europe, Middle East, Eurasia, and Africa. That's EMEA region. In this region, we are primarily focused on growing our franchise portfolio and are having a steady and sustainable growth. And our mission is to make hotel travel possible for all. So wherever people go, Wyndham will be there to welcome them. And in this region, we have seen demand for branded hotels, particularly in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. And we are well equipped to cater to this demand. So we are working extensively on the recovery plan, and all our business verticals are aligned in moving up, ramping business, and again, building trust. I hope this answers the question. So it's a
one more question to you, Suraj. What would you like to say about design for every style and need?
Yeah, so that's a very important question. So when I talk about our group, so we have a variety of different offerings from upscale to stylish economy, and we aim to make all spaces across our portfolio of hotels functional and fitting to the destination they are located in. So we cater to a variety of different types of travelers. So guests are very important. We have to study the type of profile and with varying budgets, travel needs, and the design of our hotels is a reflection of this. So when we talk about from value brands offering, we offer comfort and essentials for those on a smaller budget. Mid-scale brand, so Ramada is our well-known brand, and upscale or distinctive brands offering upscale style and design concepts that are rich with high-end amenities, food and beverage offering, spa facilities, and more. So in this business of hospitality, the focus is always on getting the basics right. And as technical people, it is our responsibility, my responsibility, to drive business objectives through design. So for any branded guest room, good sleep experience and delightful bathroom, shower experience are basics. So for good sleep experience, getting the right bed, air conditioning, acoustic performance, we can deliver good sleep experience. But bathroom and showers require innovative and constant evolution for each type of brand, in particular for value and mid-scale brands. Why I mention about value and mid-scale brand? Because of the real estate, and we are getting tighter and tighter day by day on the room areas, hence smaller bathrooms. And also for increasing profitability, that is basics for any business. For any owners, they want profitability. So optimizing, we all do energy optimization of manning, hiring multi-skilled staff. That is, we can deliver through design. But here what we need is the sustainable engineering solutions for bathrooms. So water conservation, need for innovation is constantly reducing water wastage. So this is not optional and it is a need. So while in hotels, we also need to deliver delightful guest experience. So international quality solutions, showers, low flow devices, thermostatic mixers are one of the few tangible solutions which I can discuss, I can mention in this forum.
Okay, thanks, Suraj. Over to you, James. Hansgrohe as a company, what are the technology advancements in terms of multi-utility of design and space that Hansgrohe has come up with? Can you elaborate on this trend?
Yeah, for sure, Bobby, and thanks once again for allowing me to be part of this esteemed panel, and also with working with BW Hotelier. I come from London in England, and which I did say earlier is the home of cricket, and we are the current world champions, so I had to get that in, guys. But the technology advancements is it's the evolution of the customer's needs and benefit is important, and we've also tried to bring a wealth of sophisticated innovations and technologies and design for all rooms. We believe that the hotel bathroom is becoming more cozy, and where space is more limited. It was mentioned earlier on. And we're bringing out new products, innovations, for example, like the Rainfinity shoulder shower, where you have a shelf within the shower itself for toiletries, shampoo bottles, etc., where space is limited. And secondly is that the shoulder shower itself is only focusing on the shoulder and the neck area, the stress areas. And again, this gives a good guest experience within an area that can meet all sizes. So we believe that we work with a multi-utility of design, and also as well in regards even of shower trims, is that the shower trims could be smaller on the wall if it's built in, and likewise with possibly smaller dimension exposed shower pipes if need be. So we're trying to minimize the size of the product relevant to the size of the bathroom, and that's where we're trying to work with multi-utility of design. So also without not diminishing the experience of the guest. So whether it's a bigger bathroom or a smaller bathroom, the design is still important to us, and also the experience. So we do meet with all possibilities where we're bringing, as I say, shelves into the shower as part of the shower itself, into the shower area. I hope that makes sense, Bobby.
Yeah, I have seen some of your new products, and I think it's brilliant. And again, I think they are again trendsetters, just like Hyatt is in terms of design ideas. And then you see the rest of the trying to copy you in many ways. I like the new ones where you have those button-like things that you switch on. It doesn't feel like a conventional lever device anymore. You've got those things you press and different aspects of showers come on, and I think that's pretty cool.
Well, Bobby, that's a really good point. Is that, as I say, being innovative, as you rightly say, we were the first to bring push button control into the shower area, whether it be the hand shower to select the different spray modes, or actually on the shower controls themselves. And for a first time user in a hotel bathroom, it's quite easy to use, where you have a button with an overhead shower or a hand shower on the button. You press the button and it will run the overhead or the hand shower depending on the button you press, and these are on-off buttons. So very intuitive, very easy to use for a first-time user in the bathroom. And we've all been in bathrooms where they'll have an overhead or a hand shower and you're not sure what runs what. Does that run the overhead? Does that run the hand shower? Yes. And this is something that was a new innovation by us in the market, and has proved very successful. So I understand, Bobby, what the...
But then now I see that all the rest are trying to do the same.
But again, I think what you said there, innovation is the key. Is we always try and be the trendsetters within the products. We try and be avant-garde, experimental with the new technologies and new materials. I mean, even with talk about design, even with brassware, with the range in Axel now, which we see as our luxury brand, a real super luxury range, working with internationally renowned interior designers. And it's important to work with these interior designers like Philip Stark, etc., because we don't have an in-house design team. We're stretching their experience. These will design other products, not just bathrooms. They'll do furniture, they'll do lighting. So we're looking at them to think outside the box of just a bathroom product. And a product like My Edition, where we're even bringing leather into the bathroom, a material of leather or wood into the bathroom in regards of our faucets, where we can individualize a product called My Edition. So again, we like to see ourselves as trendsetters. There are a number of followers in the market, but I'd like to think that we're always just that little step ahead.
But you have to just keep in mind, for us poor hoteliers, you got to make it affordable for us to use it in our product, in our projects. Sure. Often we would love to use them, but because of the pricing being prohibitively high, we have to go down to the basics in the basic models. So do work out like extraordinary deal for us hoteliers, so that it'll also be a good advertising platform for you, because the best people would be using these hotels, from Taj to Hyatt to Wyndham, so we would love to see some of these products being used in our bathrooms.
I'm sure Gaurav is listening to this. He heads the South Asia business. So Gaurav, you can make your notes.
Yes, you need to not think about profits for our projects. Look at them being an ideal space for publicity, and marketing, and then you will see us using a lot of your products, these new products, in these
So
projects.
Bobby, you've got a really good point there in regards of budget, in regards of Hansgrohe with our premium brand, Axel being our luxury brand, is that we want people to use our products in the hotels, whether it be a Hyatt or a Wyndham example, Winterglobe, is that, you know, we want people to come back to that hotel while using a Hansgrohe across all budgets. And this is where we have Hansgrohe and Axel. This is where we are strong within all the key hospitality brands in the world, because we have a budget, a product within a design to meet all budgets and design briefs, from Hansgrohe up to Axel. Yes, I understand Axel was seen as obviously the upper end of our range and within the luxury segment, but we can fight, I would say down and dirty, that's probably incorrect, but we can fight amongst our competition on a product with Hansgrohe that is still affordable, still meets the same design criteria, still meets the quality and in manufacturing criteria as being made in Germany. And I was surprised when I fought against Hansgrohe for many a year, is that when you work with Hansgrohe, actually how affordable we can be.
I shall remember that, and we will take Gaurav on that. So Gaurav, be ready for some aggressive requirements and requests from our side.
For sure.
Okay, question to Arun. What are Interglobe Hotels' development and expansion plans in the new normal in India?
Okay, thank you, Bobby, and thank you, Bhuvnesh, for having me over here. Am I audible?
Yes.
It's perfect. I think at Interglobe Hotels, we also had a situation when the COVID struck that we had our sites held up for quite a few months. The good news is that in the last 2-3 months, most of our sites have come back to almost 95% of labor strength. So work is going on full stream. And as Bhuvnesh mentioned earlier, we've got 6 hotels under construction, which is more than almost 1,000 keys among 2 brands, which is not too bad, about 3 brands, Ibis Style and Novotel. So we cover the upper mid-scale segment completely, right from the low end to the upper end segment. So, and all the 6 projects are in like we've got 3 in Mumbai, 2 in Bangalore, and 1 in Goa at this point of time. So that way we stay committed to our expansion plans. So we already invested almost 2,000 crores into our portfolio, and we've got a further investment lined up almost 700 crores in this particular projects. Having said that, we're not stopped looking at new development plans. I think there was, after a brief pause, our development team has sprung back into action, and we're looking at some promising deals across in Pune, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Mumbai, and Delhi. So our preference always has been for greenfield projects because it gives us flexibility in design and looking at how we can meet the various design elements to match up with each other. But we're not agnostic to looking at brownfield projects too. So at Interglobe Hotels, we remain committed to further expansion, and we believe that this is a market. It's just got a little pause in between. I think we should be back in business in a few months, and we should be ready for that. And having said that, we're also utilizing this time to make further investments into our existing portfolio. Like we're planning a couple of renovations to take care of the lean period, so we have fresh product in line as soon as the guests start coming back to our hotels. And even when I say starting to come back, even now I would say we have already hitting at 40 to 45% of occupancy, which is good news. And we hope that very soon we should be back to a new normal, or the normal what we call as, and our expansion plans are in place to take care of that.
Thanks, Arun. Over to Vandana. Hi, Vandana. Your microphone's off. Question to you. Do share, the contemporary design trends that are popular today, for hotels and restaurants, especially in our country.
First of all, I would like to thank Bhuvnesh for having me here and Hansgrohe for being a part of this event and hosting it. Bobby, that's a really nice question. I, as a designer, I'm not a trend follower, but trends drive a lot of what we see today. And the modern guest today wants to be engaged more than what the guest, previously who came to a hotel was. He wants to be heard, he wants to be empowered, and he wants to be delighted by hotels. And today's generation, they want to multitask when they come to a hotel. So the way we design hotels is really changing because of what the guest really needs, and it's being driven by that. So we are seeing a lot of changes in spaces as we design them today. I think the key to design is the multifunctionality or creating diversity, and I agree a lot with what Rima said previously. So if I talk about, say, a guest room, a couple of changes that we have noted which have sort of now become permanent are, for example, nobody really wants to create a study table anymore in a guest room because nobody's going to just sit and use a study desk. People want to be watching TV, they want to be using their laptop, they want to be on their mobile, and they want to do all these things simultaneously. So you typically see a large seating area with, say, a table of study desk height, sort of becoming a feature now in a room. Then, say if someone is walking into a room and they want to hang their bags, you sort of see now a lot of these hooks propping up on walls and getting integrated into the design. Bathroom fixtures are, becoming points of celebration. So we are opening up the doors and windows of our toilets and sort of revealing our fixtures. So the bathtub is something you want to look at. It's become so beautiful. The shower experience, of course, is something all of us are aware of, is so important. The sleep experience and the shower experience.
Vandana, you've gone.
If I talk about public spaces, when a guest walks into a lobby, he doesn't want to see this large waiting area anymore. He wants multiple experiences together. He wants his senses to be engaged. There are projections on the walls. There are activated lobbies through lobby cafes. There are large LED screens. So there is technology as well as, material integration, spatial integration. And this is also helping us create more viable spaces for our owners, because we are not then boxing one function as one dedicated space, but we're able to club a lot of functions together. And I think that's making hotels a very, very interesting domain. There is no traditional spatial program that you can stick to anymore. You can, question the way hotels are designed. And that's typically the way we like to design at Studio 4. We've always gone in and tried to sort of get down to the basics of how things can work. We've started questioning everything, and that's where we've really started enjoying our work even more. So I hope that answers your question, Bobby.
Rima, question for you. Technology has changed the way we design. Do you integrate new technology into traditional design format processes? Do you adapt to latest advancements in guest bathroom designs and amenities? What is Taj doing to stay, ahead of the curve? Rima, your microphone.
Okay, I'm live now. So you will agree with me that bathrooms has emerged as one of the selling point for the guest rooms. It's no more just the guest room design. Bathroom is an integral part of it,
and
especially one of the
also
more
taking up a big chunk of the budget.
It is now, it's taking a big chunk of budget. So it's like all the more important for us to design them more like an influential chambers. You call it Loo Lounge, I call it influential chambers. So from moving from functionality to making them more fabulous. So of course, functionality is important, but it has to be functional yet fabulous. So wherever possible, we are trying to blur the boundaries between the guest room and the bathroom and creating a more integrated experience and breaking the conventional norm of, okay, this is my bathroom space, this is my shower space, this is the vanity, and this is the room. So just blurring it and making it more efficient and making it more alluring and recreating that experience, I think that's the need of the hour. And as Vandana said, right, the writing desk is just going away. And so maybe, like, when we blur the boundaries, the vanity can become a large extension and can also be used as a writing desk. I'm just like, so basically we are trying to massage up out of the box thinking and recreating the experience. By the same time, I think technology help us to be more conservative, to be more sustainable, and be more eco-friendly, like how we can introduce natural light to the toilet by introducing skylights, or maybe having touchless screens, or more intelligent sanitary fittings. So last year for Vivanta, we launched a shower experience, which is based on the philosophy of wellness. And so it's basically the technology which uses very less water, but by the same time it gives the more experience to the guests to banish fatigue and pamper themselves a bit more, by the same time conserving water. So it's basically channelize the water and infuse it with air to create the right kind of experience without using too much of water. So these are some intelligence integration which we are doing to be ahead of the curve. And then, like the faucets also, how we can create them touchless to cut the long contact and make water conservation and to be more sustainable. So all these elements, all these exercise, we are practicing to be more ahead of the curve.
Okay. Thanks, Reem. Srijit, over to you. Your microphone's off here. How do you incorporate Hyatt's vision for environmental sustainability into your projects?
Hyatt's purpose is to care for people so that they can be their best. So one of the many ways by which we care for people is by doing a part of protecting the planet and contributing to the well-being of the communities. Access to clean water and air, availability of plentiful resources, and a stable climate are essential for people, communities, and the business to thrive. The sustainable design and construction of hotel becomes critical at this stage, not only for minimizing the operational costs in the later date, but to demonstrate Hyatt's environmental stewardship and care for people. And next is that comprehensive analysis we have developed with the Water Footprint Network puts us in a strong position to empower our hotels to make a positive difference in their local communities through water stewardship. So when I talk about water stewardship, I would like to tell you last year the focus from the Hyatt was about sustainability was water conservation. So when I talk about the water system as such in a hotel, so what we try to do is across the branch, wherever possible, we would incorporate low flow faucets, ensuring that the guest experience is not hampered. So that is one of the things. And areas where we have got water strain, like when you go into the regions where we were talking, the previous segment I was hearing about Bangalore getting dried up and all those areas. So what we try and advise the architects and the landscape designers basically to avoid have water features. So such areas, that is what we take care. And then the third and most important is the reuse of water. So wherever possible, it's 100% we try to bring in to recycle the water on site and have a proper storage and having a treated system. Now, this year, I think the focus is more towards being plastic free. So what in Hyatt we are bringing in we are encouraging the guests to have their own water bottles filled up. So we are creating water filling stations, which we have placed conveniently at areas like lobby and the arrival space, and obviously in the fitness area. So they can avoid having those PET bottles, and we do away with that. So I think this is how we try to integrate our system into project and have the vision of Hyatt continued on this.
Yeah,
so this answers
cool. James, with the millennials always on the lookout for latest trends, how do you keep your design contemporary?
Okay, so I think one of the points was what I raised earlier, Bobby, in regards of how we try and stay contemporary is that because we don't have our own in-house design team that are just blinkered on taps and showers, yeah? And this is why we work with the internationally renowned interior designers, that they work on experience with other sectors. And I think this is what tries to make us contemporary, is that we listen and learn and work with these and collaborate with these interior designers on new trends, on new products, on new designs. I think that's key, because we're not just, as I say, blinkered on taps and showers, and they bring new designs. And you, for example, getting back to how design contemporary and staying ahead is also trying to not look the product to look like a bathroom product. Another example, by working with Philip Stark previously, was a range we have called Stark V, which is a vortex. It's a luxury product. It's being truthful, it's not a 400-bed hotel product, but it's glass, it's crystal, and it doesn't look like a chrome-plated base mixer, yeah, and it gives the experience of a vortex. So again, we're working with Stark in that regards. But what we try and do is try and make our designs contemporary. We want them to be classic. We want them to be timeless. And another example, again, is Philip Stark. Axel really was launched in 1993, and the first collaboration was with Philip Stark. And we still have a range, we still have a design now, it's called Stark, which is still current now since 1993. Now, this is what we would strive to do, is it's still a popular range, still out there, still today, and will still be tomorrow. So this is where we try and keep our design contemporary, by working with these particular designers, but also in other regards of, we're looking at not only a design of contemporary, we're thinking of classic, we're thinking of traditional. How do we always try and be innovative and outside the box, so to speak, in our design? So I would say that's probably how we would answer that.
That's super cool.
But Rima, I've got to thank Rima. I mean, her points there were music to our ears as a manufacturer of bathroom products and showering products, about eco-smart being king. It's a wellness area. I mean, exactly. The bathroom of so many years ago was a room of cleanliness. It was a cleaning, a washing area, and now it's a room of experience, of senses, of relaxation, of invigoration. And this is now a wellness area, the bathroom, and this is now being designed around that as well. And this really ticks all of our boxes, and also with Srijit saying about, you know, water saving, eco smart, low flow faucets and showers, and again getting away from the design. We're not breaking away from the design or the experience to the guest by putting forward a water saving or eco smart product. It's still the same as before, just the air is mixed with water, as Rima correctly said earlier on as well. So if Rima ever wants a position at Hansgrohe, please let us know. Huh?
Thanks, James. Arun, a very relevant question for you for present day times. What are the challenges in material supply post-COVID, especially for design needs for every segment? What is the learning curve in terms of design principles that COVID has reinforced?
That's an interesting question, Bobby, and quite relevant to the times we are living in right now. Yeah, we always were sourcing our materials across the globe. So obviously there was a big disruption which happened in initial time. China was suddenly out of bounds, and so did our supplies from Europe also starting to get affected in a big way. So obviously we had to think different. We had to start sourcing, we start looking at new options and new sources of materials. But sometimes, in spite of all the adversity, you always come up with new opportunities. I think some of the examples which we had was we always used to source the wallpaper from China, like most of us do, right? And suddenly, out of middle of nowhere, we got a supplier out of the USA who was willing to give us a superior product at a much more competitive price. And there, suddenly our entire budgets came back in line, the timelines were back in line, the US were willing to work with us closely, and suddenly, I think a few months back, nobody could ever imagine that USA would be competitively priced against somebody like China. And similarly, we were having issues with our doors and door frames. Our door frames at Integral of the hotels have doors which are pretty unique in terms of door seals and smoke seals and all kinds of integration in terms of fire rating and stuff like that. And certainly we had a country called Russia who was willing to supply doors which were absolutely superstar and at a price which was much cheaper than what Italy or China could have provided. So I guess we've been learning new things.
We have already been using those Russian doors.
Yeah, there you go.
In a few of our projects, they've already been using them even before pre-COVID.
And such a wonderful product out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I think that's something which I'm learning constantly. And in terms of design, Bobby, I think we believe that only designs which are more adaptive and compliant in nature are going to last out. So with that in view, we have been relooking at every space and see how we can multifunction it, how we can use it in different ways. For example, looking at meeting rooms getting converted to co-working spaces. We're looking at staff cafeteria, looking at how we can upgrade the staff cafeteria so it can also develop as a public area in terms of a need, maybe a co-working space or maybe a small function space, and also adds a lot of value to our people working in the hotel in terms of having a nice, bright cafeterias, good back of the house spaces. So we're looking at interchangeability and adaptability at every point. So with that effect, what's happening with the blurring of the back of the house and the front of the house taking place, I think we're giving more than enough attention to all the back of the house spaces. Typically, back of the house spaces had grey quotas and some white walls and white tiles. And they brought the design back into focus into all these areas, whether it is staff washrooms, whether it is, in fact, in most of our hotels, our staff washrooms are much better, as good as the public area washrooms. So that's the importance we're giving to each and every space. And we believe that with happy employees, we'll have happy guests. So the focus is there on design part, both in the front of the house and the back of the house. And also we're continuously looking at new innovations, see how we can have multiple uses for the same space. Like we're looking at how we can have seating spaces in the lobbies to develop as spaces where you can have small intimate meetings, and also maybe where somebody can use a Wi-Fi, order a coffee and get going with his regular work. So that's where we are, Bobby, on the design front of the program.
Very cool. Vandana, question to you. How do you maintain the Indian-Ness in a design, yet bring in the contemporary look?
So India, as we all know, is very rich and very diverse, and saying that something is Indian could have multiple connotations. And for me, when I study vernacular architecture or I go into the depths of what being Indian means, I think, there is a lot of intelligence in what was done in the olden times. And of course, when it carried on as tradition and became a part of our culture. So besides just being motifs that, we want to use in our design, if we can go down to the basics of what our Indian design meant, we'll be able to develop more meaning in our design. For example, in the olden days, if you study a Bauli, it was not just a stepwell which looked beautiful, was symmetric, but it stored water for a very long time. So it had function, it had aesthetic, and it was celebrated. And if we can go down to the core principles of what being Indian is, we'll be able to challenge and create or innovate in a better way. Besides that, of course, there are other ways, one can incorporate Indian-Ness in contemporary design. I think we should go down to the basics of using local materials, like, say, incorporating linens into our guest rooms, probably having our local craftsmen, embroider the cushion covers. So, for example, if you're building something in Punjab, you can have the motifs and embroideries from there. If you're building something in South, you can use the saris and the check patterns from there. So there's just so much diversity. And I think if we really go down to studying each region and incorporating those elements into our design, we'll really be able to create unique identities in the kind of hotels, hotel projects we are able to build. As an example, we recently, it's been about 2.5 years, we worked on the Renaissance by Marriott in Ahmedabad. And that's where we were able to create a very strong sense of place and yet keep the hotel looking very contemporary. So we were influenced by the Kite Festival of Gujarat. We were influenced by the stepped wells and by the strong colors of the city, like the pinks and the reds. And we did a very stark contrast in the lobby with grays and pinks, which stands out and is a clear reflection of the city as someone walks in. Yet it feels absolutely contemporary. There is no, it's not like desi per se. So yes, it's possible if you can play the two layers delicately and you can balance them. It's very possible to create it, and it's fun. Yeah.
Cool. Over to Suraj. Now, what remains the design USP of the Wyndham Hotels and Resorts? How does it differ for the different segments?
So, very difficult question to answer. I'll try to answer it very objectively. So, like I mentioned, Wyndham's mission. Our mission is to make hotel travel possible for all, and our wide-ranging portfolio of brands is helping us to fulfill this mission. So each brand is designed with guest comfort and ease in mind, and we continue to evolve, build based on market trends and demands. So we have something for every type of traveler, and our designs are another representation of this. So having said that, the USP which I want to explain, which I want to table it here, so is we are one of the most flexible among international brands, and we do not compromise on our brand standards. For example, we have zero tolerance on fire, life, safety across all our brands, so that is consistent. But when it comes to hotel facilities and area program, we accommodate requirement as per market location and owners' business aspirations. So like Arun mentioned, that greenfields are easy and provides us flexibility to build an hotel, an on-brand hotel. But what we, besides greenfield, our extensive experience has brought in a lot of conversions, where owners have a tight budget, and also they do not want to shut down the hotel. So while hotel is operating, we are making changes to bring it on brand, and then the branding happens. So with this we try to empower our hotel owners also and our guests. So like Vandana also mentioned about being vernacular or things. So within the brand standards purview, we try to be flexible in terms of like each and every location has a different requirement, different cultural requirements. So we try to be flexible with that. So that is how, like I mentioned in my first question, so like that is how we are trying to build and sustain trust. So being as a USP, so to bring on the USP question very objectively, is that we have brands to cater to all segments, and plus the flexibility which we are offering to empower our guests and our owners. I hope I'm trying to sum it.
Yes, thanks.
Bobby,
Yes.
I want to ask Suraj. Well,
Yeah.
you say you have a lot of flexibility but zero tolerance.
Yes. So tolerance, when I talk about our standards, so our standards are very objective type. It will say table will have 4 legs. I need a bed, I need a chair. So our brand standards range from for 168 countries, 62 languages. So we have some standardization across it. But when it says about Ramada having a red color element, so it does not mean I want the room red. It can be certain red element.
So I was just about trying to lighten the mood and bring in some.
So fire, life, safety is non-negotiable.
Okay. Yeah.
Done. Fine.
Time's running.
Sorry, Bobby. Sorry.
Rima,
Yeah.
can you recollect any major challenge that you faced during the design stage of any project, especially pertaining to the guest room space? How do you handle such situations? Rima, microphone. Rima can't hear.
Okay, sorry.
Start again.
So I said we all face this challenge, right? To explain the importance of design at the foundational level and stage. and to explain that design is not necessary to be functional, but it is important to be more experiential. So we have to integrate functionality as well as experiential layer in the design. If we have one, if we don't have the other, it's just a total disbalance. So driving the functionality, keeping experience in mind, I think that's one of the fundamental challenge which we face, because sometimes with the owners and with the executors, they say, oh, this is how it is. And but being designers, being operators, we want to do something more than catering to the basics. And one of the biggest challenge is also the space planning, because if you don't have the basic foundation and the space planning right, and you're trying to build the functionality and experience, so it's just like totally not the right path to take. First, the foundational and the key planning and the space planning needs to be right to create that wow kind of an experience, and to break the basic boundaries and the traditional bones of the design, to create something extraordinary and having a more unified experience.
Okay, cool. Srijit?
So a bit of a time check, Bobby.
How much more time do I have?
So we can go on till 5:25. That means another 7 minutes.
Srijit, over to you.
Yeah.
How do you balance the style and need for every segment, be it luxury, upscale or budget? There are so many types and several categories. How do you do it?
See, I think all you would agree, design is the key in our business. And having said that, hospitality is a physical experience and always has design at its core. So when you visit our hotels, you will find across the brand an astounded different way of physical space being used. You walk into the lobby space at any of our hotel, and it's different and definitely an experimental moment for all time. Our brand guidelines across the various brands is very distinctive, and our design stays true to those guidelines. Since we are today more towards the bathroom, I would try to take the segment in that comparison on that bathroom design part. So what I would like to tell you is, in a luxury brand like Park Hyatt, Grand Hyatt, Alila, Andaz, in those segments, the bathrooms are inspired by brands' refined spa experience. So it is more to with the wellness, like Rima earlier said, that this is more towards the luxury brand. We are focusing on that. So what we do here is we provide a luxury of standalone bathtub in suites and standard rooms. Also, we have large vanities, which is a generous counter space for two, along with the shower. Shower is in the guest room is once again inspired by the spa experience. So which has got features of sizable walk-in showers, areas with integrated seating and shaving steps, mirrors, and footbath surrounded by hard surfaces. So now when I come to the second segment, which is an upper upscale, which is a Hyatt Regency or a Hyatt centric, what comes in. Here we call this area as a groom and prep zone. So what happens here is, this is an open plan, a multifunctional space where the guest easily finds everything they need to prepare for the day. So this zone basically comprises of a show closet, a beverage and a refrigerator, beverage station and a refrigerator, a tranquility door if required, if it's an inward-looking hotel or an atrium hotel, we have that. And then the vanity, shower, and water closet. When I talk about vanity in upper upscale area, the vanity is designed in such a way that it opens up into the dressing area. And this is so thoughtfully designed that it offers a clear visibility to the guest essentials, helping them to stay organized. The glass door enclosed for your closets and the shower area gives the privacy while allowing the bathroom to remain open and connect, creating to the expansive groom and prep zone. So when I come to the last segment, which is our upscale, which in India is more of a Hyatt Place. So we redesigned our Hyatt Place toilets, getting the feedback from the customers. So that was what we did is like we made a generous vanity, space for sufficient space for personal items to be kept, multi-directional. Earlier, I think Mr. Arun was telling, same multi-directional lighting on the vanity so that you have less shadows on that. More optimal distance between mirror and vanity for shaving and makeup application. A walk-in shower with a footrest and a larger shower amenity tray. So this is how I think you can see that all the segments we have got those specific areas, and to the style and we have done it according to the different thing. I think this. Hope this answers your question, Bobby. You're on mute.
Arun, a quick one. Please share some contemporary design trends for your mid-scale properties. What's the latest that you guys are doing?
I think what we have been doing of late, Bobby, is that we're trying to push the IBIS brand to the next level. Most of us would have seen the IBIS brand as being a plain Jane type of product. If you see some of our newer properties, we're trying to create social spaces which are interactive and fun to be in. We are continuing to push to make our public areas as trendy and chic as possible, create those intimate community spaces, push the level as high as possible. So most of our new projects which are coming in are very high on design, wherein someone wouldn't mind calling his friend over for a drink in our bar, for example. Typically, people would have gone outside. I wish to go and entertain people. Here we're saying, why not take it to a level where we are getting people back into the social spaces, and more of the and more the trend has been to create as much as a residential feel to the whole property as much as possible. So with that, we are keeping in mind that while the focus on design, we're also focusing on sustainability, which is what the new age traveler is looking at. In fact, recently we got awarded the Green Champ Award by IGC. This came in last week only. So we have a very high focus on sustainability, making sure that we've got a residential feel for all our projects, making sure we cater to the Gen Y need as much as possible, because our data shows that our hotels occupancy is almost 80% by the Gen Y folks. So although we don't limit our design to them, but the focus is definitely on the needs and aspirations of the Gen Y. That's where we are.
Okay. Vandana, I think that will probably be the last one. Bhuvanesh,
yes,
you have 2 minutes?
Last one.
Yeah, Vandana, can you share some design innovations for enhanced guest experience?
So, Bobby, I think innovations should basically pull from the guest pain points in hotels. And I think most of the pain points are around the check-in experience, which everybody wants to hasten. So use of technology in that area, there are hotels now using facial recognition, using RFID wristbands, etc. Also for opening of doors. Then, when you're in a hotel, you want to be catered to quickly. So how can that happen? There are chatbots that, they're using these days. There's use of robots, etc. So I feel technology can really change guest experience. I've already spoken about how multifunctionality and creating a sense of place have, of course, their value cannot be negated. But integration of technology, though it comes at a cost, has great value. And I was also going through a lot of the latest Hansgrohe products, and I was amazed at what all they're doing now in terms of the sensory shower experience that they're creating. You can control, your shower experience through an app, through your devices. You can pre-program it. So I think there's just a lot that technology can do to enhance the guest experience. Really, you can have digital concierge. You can have a virtual reality experience before you check into a hotel, and you can maybe pre-select a room. You can walk through a room. So yes, there's a lot that one can do through technology besides just looking at spatial layouts or a design intervention through materials.
Okay. Bhuvanesh, over to you now. I think
all right.
Out of time.
There were questions to take, but I think we're overshot, and I also need to summarize the show. So let me start so we can duck the questions here, because it's been an interesting session. Wish I could extend this by another 15 minutes. Don't go away, any one of you. Start with Rima. We're summarizing what you said. You may want to unmute. Earlier, dominance of design was focused on demography of the guest. Now, hotel designs have evolved as per the psychography of the guest. Think differently and act differently. Bathrooms have emerged as one of the selling point of the guest room, and bathroom is an integral part of it. Design them more like an influential chamber, make them more fabulous and functional. We have to blur the boundaries to make it more alluring and recreating the experience. Technology helps to be more sustainable and eco-friendly, give more experience to guests, to banish fatigue without using too much or more water. Does that sum you up well?
Yes, thank you very much. That was a good summary.
Thank you, Rima.
Thanks.
Thanks.
And thank you for having me for the panel.
You're not going anywhere yet. Just stay here with us.
Yeah.
We want to have more of your time.
Okay.
So, Vandana, I'm a follower of design than trends, but trends drive a lot of what we see today. Guests want to be engaged more than what hotels offer today. The way we design today is changing as per what guests want. Key to design is multifunctionality and creating diversity. Bathroom fixtures are becoming a point of celebration. Shower experience is as important as sleep experiences. There's a lot of intelligence in what was done in earlier times, and it has become a part of our tradition. If we go down to study core of the Indian design, we will be able to innovate and create unique identities in hotel projects, keeping the looks of the space very contemporary.
Very well summarized, Bhuvnesh. Thank you.
Theek ache, Balo. All right, Arun. We remain committed to expansion. We believe that this is a little pause that the market has gone into. In this time, we make further investments to our existing portfolio. Good news is that we have already hit 45% of our pre-COVID occupancy. We start looking at new options in this COVID era, which opens new and better opportunities for us, which are also more economical. In terms of design, we believe that only designs which are more adaptive and compliant are going to last. We look at interchangeability and adaptability in products at every point, whether it's for the office or for the bathroom.
Thank you, Bhuvnesh. That was a very good summary.
All right. Srijit,
Yes.
care is the purpose of our business. Well-being of the guests and the employees is central to our ethos. Key aspect is to have intuitive and empathetic design. Bathroom is a primary opportunity to impact the guest experience beyond the guest expectations. We try to bring in a relationship between the bathroom and the bedroom so that they are officially connected, keeping in mind privacy of the guest, which is at its core. It makes the room feel more expansive, unique, and adds to the functionality of the space. Does that work?
Right.
All right. I shall now
Yes, sir.
come to James. We bring more product innovations for good guest experience in a limited space. We focus that we have more utility out of the minimal design, whether a big bathroom or a small one. The design of the product is very important. We were the first one to give a water at the touch of button. To give water at the touch of a button, a very intuitive technology. We listen, learn, and collaborate with designers for new designs. We try keep our designs contemporary by thinking of classic, by thinking of traditional, out of the box. Does that work, James? Awesome.
Fantastic.
So,
Thank you.
you know,
Bhuvnesh.
this has been a beautiful session. You know, a great balance between gender and between both the genders, and also it brings in a right balance between owners, operators, designers, and architects. Could we have asked for more? And Bobby, how do we rate Bobby's anchoring and moderation? I think
It's not my.
Bobby, you're unmute. Bobby, unmute.
Fabulous.
It's,
If I can say, fabulous.
it's not my forte to be asking questions.
No, don't mind it. If you're 40, it's your 50 now. So, so that's more on a lighter one. Bobby, thanks for moderating the show. Don't go away. I want to bring in Gaurav. Gaurav is the managing director of Hansgrohe for South Asia. He shall also do the Thanksgiving. Gaurav, welcome. You've been watching from back of stage. Bobby is there, Reema is there, Vandana, Arun, Srijit, Suraj, and of course James, you know.
Yeah, watching and a bit envious that I couldn't be part of the panel. But anyway, I think, just like this, I think over the past 2 weeks, we've had a number of sessions. We've had 5.
But let me tell you, there, Gaurav, Bobby made a point about budgets, huh? So you might want to link offline with him.
Yeah.
So I hope you made your notings.
James mentioned that he is going to make things more affordable for us. So I'm going to take his word. So Gaurav, don't get surprised if I expect a lot out of you, and we do expect you to satisfy our requirements. So you have some really cool products. It's of no use if we can't use them, right?
Fair point. And I think, to be honest, I would be more surprised if that point was not raised over a course of a 2-week, 5 webinar session. So that point is always valid. And I think that's one of the reasons why we are doing this as well. But just to mention, over the last 2 weeks almost, we've had 5 webinars. We've talked about design. We've talked about sustainability as a platform. We've talked about showering with our senses. We've talked about how innovation is actually inspired by emotion in general. So I think it's been a lot of expressions about water. It's been a very, very humbling and learning experience. And I think the core has been to, learn from you all. The core has also been to engage from you all. Because I think that's one of the principles that Hansgrohe has been very successful across the globe. And I would be more than honest and happy to say that we are initiating these steps within the hospitality industry as far as Hansgrohe India is concerned now. So we hope that these kind of sessions will get us closer to you, and in general we hope to be more engaged with the industry going ahead. I know that a huge effort has been done by BW Hotelier, but before I thank them, I'd like to thank all the speakers that came on the webinars. I know that each moderator has had to do a lot of effort in putting it all together, in moderating this show within the timelines. So a big shout out and a big thank you to all of you. And of course, BW Hotelier, its team at the back end. I know the number of exchanges we've had to get things better, but I think the intent and the delivery has been phenomenal. To my own team and to the speakers that we've had from Hansgrohe globally, a big thank you to you too. So thanks again from our side, and I look forward to engaging with you beyond the show as well. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Gaurav. It's, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a wonderful series to host, and delighted we were able to partner with Hansgrohe. We had people coming from all over the world, the best designers from all over India, South Asia. Could I have asked for more? No. Honestly, it always reinforces my faith in God. God has been kind, and it all ordains well. I mean, he keeps us on the right track, and he's done a phenomenal job. And Gaurav, it's been wonderful interacting with you and the entire Hansgrohe team. I won't want to keep the session longer, but just 2 minutes. Do watch the thank you video, right? All right, bring it on, Pranav. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Reema. Thank you, Vandana, Arun, Srijit, Suraj, Gaurav, thank you so much. Thank you, James, for coming in. This was a wonderful session. Thanks for hosting it, Bobby. And thank you for this wonderful series.
And thanks for having me
This has been the right capping to a wonderful series. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you for being there.
Thank you, and wish you all a happy Diwali.
Thank you.